Small business owners, stop playing small. Most small business owners get stuck in Smallsville and can never get out because of the way that they're thinking. They're always thinking about next month and how they're going to meet their revenue goals and just surviving instead of thriving. They're barely making progress. And year after year, it's the same story over and over again where the business never grows. That's about to change today. What I'm going to share with you today will help you to think like someone who is successful, and therefore everything will follow. I'm going to give you 3 ways to help you level up your small business. First thing we got to start thinking about is your mindset around the size of your business. I love this quote by Harv T. Eker. He said, "Don't make your dreams and your goals fit into your current reality." That's so good because so many times we're not creative enough or don't have enough faith or believe enough that we can grow or get much bigger. And so we play really, really small, and that is not doing you any favors. All that's doing is hurting you over and over again, year after year. So number 1 is you have to start thinking bigger. And I'm not talking about a little bigger. I'm thinking much bigger. For example, local businesses, if you own a single location, like a lot of franchise owners, they'll own one location and they're just barely surviving and just barely paying their bills. What would happen? Seriously, what would happen if you decided instead of 1 or 2 locations, you were going to open 100? Or maybe even just 50? Or what about just 20? What would have to happen? What game plan, what strategy, what way of thinking would have to change? What way that you operate your business today would have to significantly change to all of a sudden reach a goal that big, right? Because you're not going to open 100 locations the way you're operating your single location right now. It's just not going to happen. So the first thing you have to do is come to terms with your current reality is not your future. You have to start planning a bigger future and then alter your current reality step by step, inch by inch, plan by plan, one action item at a time to eventually see the bigger outcome of a much bigger reality in the future. Okay. So that's number 1, stretch. Start thinking so much bigger than you are today. Hey, if you're getting some value out of this, hit that subscribe button, like and share, drop a comment, and let's get back to it. Number 2, go big on growth. And by that, I mean invest in growth. Put your money where your dreams are. I talked to so many small business owners over the last 10, 20 years, and there's this reoccurring theme of looking at the resources that you have today, and then you just incrementally play small and you try to grow by that 1%, that 2%, and you're just making small tweaks and small adjustments and playing just so small. I'm going to give you an example of what I talk about. A lot of first-time business owners that are opening like a franchise, when they're approached with the subject or the idea of how much money are you going to invest, I didn't say spend, I said invest into your marketing for your grand opening, for your pre-sale, to build your business within the first, maybe let's say year, what have you thought about? Those numbers are typically so small. And therefore they end up with a really small business. But the people that come in with big business experience and they're like, hey, we're going to open 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 20 and then 100. And they have a systematic way for scaling. They come in with bigger budgets and they're going to scale and they're going to crush it. So one thing I want you to start thinking about, let's think about this trade. If you gave me $10 and I said, okay, in 2 weeks, I'm going to give you $20, would you make that trade? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's marketing 101, return on investment. Now, think about it this way. If you have a membership-based business and you gave me $10 and I gave you back $10, but I gave you $10 every month for the next 2 years, would you make that trade? Yeah, that's $240, right? So there's this thing about marketing where so many new business owners look at marketing as an additional expense instead of future opportunity and an investment in growth. It's growth dollars. So there's a couple areas of your business that are growth dollars. There's some that are not. Some are more operational, fixing a piece of broken equipment. That's operational expenses. Those things are going to happen. That's a liability. But when you think about investment, you think about growth dollars. Marketing and sales are the only levers in your business where when you put money in, you're going to get money back out. So for example, in sales, if you hire a really poor salesperson, you're going to get really poor results. But if you spend more money and get a seasoned salesperson, you're going to get a lot more back out of that person because they have experience, they're well trained, and they're going to have higher conversion rates, and they're going to generate their own leads as well as the leads that you're giving them, right? So there's the difference. Marketing. If you spend minimal on marketing, you're going to get minimal results. But if you start really adjusting your mindset around like, hey, you know what? Let's double our marketing spend and see what happens. And from an agency owner standpoint, I will tell you, a lot of agencies are like, no, don't double your ad spend because there's law of diminishing returns. You will not get double the amount of leads. We've actually seen the opposite happen where you get more than double the amount of leads because now you were spending so little, the algorithm didn't like it, and now it's getting way more data and your cost per lead went down and your lead volume didn't double, it more than doubled, it 2.5x'd. So now you're flooded with opportunity, you're getting way more volume, and that growth, future growth is about to happen. One more thing I want to say about marketing within the first few years of a brand new location or a new business. So many times, first-time business owners will come in and they want to take a sniper approach at their marketing because of their lack of sales ability, and the customer experience that happens when people walk in the door isn't as good as it should be. What do I mean by that? Watch this. They say, hey, instead of casting a really, really wide net and then qualifying leads and then letting them naturally drop through the funnel and getting a lot more volume in the actual location, what we want to do is we want to sniper. We want to add a lot of friction to our offer. We want to narrow our targeting, and then their lead volume goes way down, and then they're converting much higher at the point of sale, but their membership sales get cut in half. This makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. The first few years, keep that net wide, cast the wider net. Why? If you're brand new in business, you're not good at sales yet, and you're not good at hiring salespeople yet. You need as much reps and as much volume as you can possibly get to get better and to learn. So that's number one. Number two, you're not at capacity. You don't take a sniper approach until you're on a waiting list. Then you can take the sniper approach once you hit the waiting list, which we have happen all the time. But wait till you get to the point where you have no more supply and demand goes really high, then raise your prices and take that sniper approach on marketing because you can't handle the volume. And if you're not on a waiting list, you need to cast the widest net humanly possible to get as many people inside your facility to experience what you're offering and give you and your team more sales at bats and reps to get better at conversions. Hands down, that's all I got to say about that. Number three, start thinking about scale and operations, right? So if you are satisfied with owning one single small business location, you're going to operate that thing in a very duct tape type fashion where you don't have a lot of standard procedures, you don't have a lot of policies or checklists or SOPs or systems in your business for scaling. And so things don't run efficiently if you're not there. But if you're going to open 100 locations, you create a systematized or operationalized business through standard operating procedures, through training, through certain protocols and frameworks and the way that you operate the business so it can scale even if you're not there, so you can open multiple locations, right? And so when you start thinking bigger, like what if I do want to open 10 or 20 or 50 locations? And it's hard for you to imagine, how would you operate your business differently? How could you stamp that out among other locations? Here's what will happen. When you do that, you'll become more profitable, you'll attract better talent, and you'll have more opportunity to actually go and stamp out other locations and repeat success over and over again versus just trying to put it together on a day-to-day basis, okay? So put systems in your business, because when you start thinking about lots of locations, you're gonna need those systems. So here is your Grow Wisely homework. Let's do this. Number one, write down your current goals. Write down your goals. What are your goals for your business that you have. I'm sure you have something in your head. Write it down. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to write down a stretch goal. What would make you feel a little uncomfortable, and stretch? Write down that goal. Then I want you to cross it out. And I want you to write down what you feel is impossible. So if it's, for example, if you have a goal of, my current goal is just to get my current location to a higher amount of profitability, and we want to do, let's say you want to do like $1 million or 500,000 in revenue, whatever that is for that current location. What if you said, okay, maybe I want to open 2 or 3 locations and have each one doing about 700,000 a year? Scratch that out and say, what if you opened 30 locations and they were each doing close to $1 million a year? Now you're thinking, right? And it's going to force change and reverse engineer everything you're doing in your current business to make it operate so much better and grow so much faster. The reason that you're stuck right now is because you're thinking small inside of your current reality instead of thinking my current reality is not what my future will be. Okay? So I hope that helps, and I look forward to catching you on the next one. If you found that useful, check out this next video.